welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. And it really is summer today, and I'm out and about. Trust me, if you used to come into the studio when I do this show sometimes, right? In the summer, it's baking hot. On a day like today, it's just unbearably hot in there. And then in the winter, it's absolutely freezing. There's no balance to that studio. It's just like either hot or really cold. Although you couldn't say the same for Arsenal right now when it's coming to the transfer window. In the past, you could say that we've been very, very cold. But at the moment, we're quite hot. You know what I mean? We seem to be doing a lot of business. This is weird. As a person that's been doing this show for, 5 years, and all the ups and downs when you do transfer windows to do at Arsenal, they really are moving like a different animal this year, getting business done quickly, moving very quickly. And again today we hear about a link to a player, a French player, big prospect that Arsenal are apparently about to sign. He goes by the name of Matteo Guendouzi, plays currently for Lorient, 19 years of age, so very young. He's currently a member of the under-20 French team, and he plays in the midfield. Now, this one has come right out of the blue, Arsenal being linked to this kid. Last week we didn't hear anything about this. We have heard that Arsenal have been looking to sign like a young player to bring in sort of around all the senior players that they've been, or senior signings, should I say, that they've been making recently. And it looks like this kid could be the one. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, Arsenal were on the verge of signing Yacine Adli from PSG. That looked like that was more or less done and that he was coming in, and all of a sudden that one kind of fell through when Yacine Adli decided that he was going to stay at Paris Saint-Germain. So that was a big knockback for Arsenal. But they've now opted for this other youngster, and he comes with a very, very good reputation. Even though he plays for Lorient, who are currently in the second tier of football in France, he is seen as a very, very hot prospect in the midfield. Really, you can't miss him with his looks. He got a very similar look to, I've seen him already being described as a sideshow Bob with his haircut. But listen, football-wise, on the pitch, he's rated very, very highly. He came through PSG's academy. He played 20 times for Lorient last season, getting really good reviews. He did apparently, though, fall out with the hierarchy there and had a couple of personal problems and has decided to move on. And it looks like Arsenal will make the signing of Matteo Guendouzi this week for we're being told, round about £7 million. Now, whether he'll come straight into the first team squad or whether it could be a thing where he's used sparingly or goes out on loan, we'll have to wait and see. But again, this is another one of these sort of Sven Mislintat, and also Unai Emery is supposed to have quite a bit to do with this one. So maybe he's had scouts looking at this kid from his time in France. But it does look like he will be signing this week. Just like Lucas Torreira. This, of course, worst kept secret around Arsenal right about now, about Lucas Torreira. And every day there seems to be more and more confirmation that he will be signing for Arsenal. Remember yesterday I told you that he didn't get on the flight to go to Uruguay with the rest of the team as they returned home after a decent campaign in the World Cup. They could even possibly have gone further had it not been for the injury to Edison Cavani. But a very good World Cup for Uruguay and for Lucas Torreira himself, who performed brilliantly in the World Cup. Everybody remembers that game in particular against Portugal, where he helped to shackle Ronaldo. So, very, very good World Cup for him. Now, he was asked yesterday about Arsenal, and he was asked about why he didn't fly back with the team to Uruguay. And these are his quotes. He said, "I would have been very happy to have been able to return to Uruguay with my teammates, but this is a fantastic opportunity to join Arsenal, and I don't want to waste it." So there it is, really, from the horse's mouth. Lucas Torreira literally is confirming more or less that he's going to be joining. As I said yesterday, it's all dependent on his medical, which he could even be having today, and you will see Lucas Torreira unveiled this week as an Arsenal player, unless the only thing I think that could stop it would be some sort of problem with the medical. But it looks like Torreira will be unveiled as an Arsenal player, and said it repeatedly on the show, a great signing as far as I'm concerned, in an area that has been a huge problem to Arsenal over the years. We've tried every now and again to address it. For a little while, we had Francis Coquelin in there recently doing a half-decent job, but wasn't really that top-quality player that we needed in there. And just basically, it's just an area that we've not filled. Alex Song was in there for a while. Listen, ever since back in the day when we had Vieira and then we had Gilberto Silva, for me, that was the last time we had a proper, deep-lying, defensive-minded midfielder. Since then, we haven't had that person. And we've suffered for it year after year. Every fan's looked on it and said, get a DM, get a DM. DM's become a regular word around Arsenal, but it finally looks like this is going to get addressed, and Lucas Torreira from Uruguay will be coming in to sign. Will Arsenal, though, make a move for Jean-Michel Seri? Now, this is another really interesting one. Arsenal, at the start of the transfer window, were really interested in Seri. Jean-Michel Seri, of course, who plays for Nice, another midfielder who plays fairly deep. He's not really a deep-line midfielder. I remember making a point quite a lot of times that he's more of a box-to-box midfielder. But he was seen in London yesterday, and also he didn't join up with the Nice team for their pre-season training camp. That was confirmed even by the club. He's got a release clause that expires on the 15th of July, so after that, you know, his price, any sort of price would go up on him. And it looks like he's in London trying to sort out his future. Now, where will that future be? Will it be at Arsenal? Arsenal, one of the teams that were really interested in Jean-Michel Seri. However, the team that's emerged in recent weeks as the favourites to sign him is Chelsea. Even though West Ham are also interested, Everton are interested. But with that £35 million release clause, for me, it more than likely looks like he's going to end up at Chelsea. And also, I just feel that the fact that Arsenal have signing Lucas Torreira, surely that puts an end to the sort of Jean-Michel Seri signing. And is that a mistake on Arsenal's part? What do you guys think? I don't know. I think Torreira suits Arsenal more because he's a defensive midfielder. Now, the only way I could see Jean-Michel Seri really making sense right now would be if Aaron Ramsey was moving on. And from what I'm being told, they're quite confident at Arsenal that they're going to get Aaron Ramsey tied down to a brand new contract. And Seri is a very similar player to Ramsey in the sort of position he plays. Although I'd say, if I'm looking at the two players, you'd rather Ramsey because Ramsey scores more goals. Ramsey, if he's kept fit for a long period of time, is a goal threat, and that's what Arsenal want from midfield. You want that guy coming from midfield and scoring goals. So I think the Jean-Michel Seri thing won't happen, but he's in London. The rumours are flowing. Let's see what happens. Nacho Monreal. Now, sort of spoken about this before, about him being linked with a move back to Spain with Real Sociedad. It's getting ramped up again today. They are really interested in signing Nacho Monreal, who of course is back with Arsenal, or should I say, I'm not sure if he's back in full training yet, but he will return to Arsenal now that the World Cup is over for Spain. Now, Monreal's now 32. For me, I know Ramsey and some people won Player of the Season last year. I don't understand how. For me, quite obviously, the Player of the Season last year was Nacho Monreal. He was brilliant. He was consistent. And ever since his shaky sort of first couple of seasons where he's been played out of position, he's played as centre-back, he's been a great servant to Arsenal. And even though he's 32, his fitness levels are good, I don't think Arsenal will be looking to sell Nacho Monreal. And there's been this big talk as well about the new regime wanting leaders on the pitch and experienced players, right? And Nacho Monreal is one of those leaders, is one of those experienced players. So I don't think he will be sold. However, Real Sociedad really making a big play to try and get Nacho Monreal back to Spain. So let's keep an eye on this one. If a big bid came in, maybe Arsenal might look on it and say he's 32. Can we afford to hang on to him for another season and lose value on it? We know how Arsenal think. Let's see what happens with this one. And Joel Campbell, what's happening with Joel Campbell? Of course, This guy is literally, since he's been at Arsenal, has just been loaned out here, there. He had a little period at Arsenal where he was there for a bit, but basically he's just been the loan man, you know what I mean? Now, he's been linked with a move away again this season, this time with Lazio and Fenerbahce, seemingly the two clubs that are really, really interested in signing him. It does look like this season he will be sold. Arsenal looking to recoup back some of the money that they've spent. So it looks like Joel Campbell will be on his way out of Arsenal. Listen, it's beautiful weather today in London. I'm just chilling here today. You know what, it's nice to be back. There's no football on today because there's no World Cup games going on, but we are going to be returning back to Moscow for those England games. I want to thank everybody who's really been getting into our coverage of the World Cup. I know that sometimes not all of our coverage is all Arsenal, especially when we're doing England games. You know, there's a lot of Tottenham supporters, Tottenham players in that team. But, you know, it's been fantastic to sort of follow the journey of the World Cup. It's England, it's our national team, and to see how they're doing from an Arsenal fan's point of view and from Arsenal fans. And really, it's been a campaign that's really united all of the Premier League teams, well, shall I say, the English supporters in the Premier League teams behind the country, and it's been fantastic. And we'll be back out there in Moscow either on Tuesday or Wednesday and following it through right till the end, hopefully seeing England in that final. Thanks for watching the show today, and we'll be back tomorrow.